Hello everyone! In this episode I'm taking a closer look at the Pose Architect product from 3D Universe. It's something that's been on my radar for a while and I finally took the plunge to buy it and have a look at it, and I gotta say that's a very interesting concept. Let's take a look at it. I bought this one here, the Pose Architect for Genesis 3 females. The product is available for Genesis 3 and 8, male and female, and the females get kind of an add-on pack with additional, goodness in there. I haven't got that, but I'm looking forward to trying it out. So the idea behind it really is that instead of buying a pose pack that comes with, 30 preset poses on which you click an icon and the figure kind of snaps into a pose, and then you click another one and it snaps into another pose. This product works with dials. And not only that, what I think is really cool about it is that when you use one of the dials, it maintains balance on the figure. So often what I'm struggling with when I'm making my own poses is that they look unnatural because I'm not an animator. I'm not a posing kind of guy. Here's the other products here that you get. They all work by the same principle. As I said, Genesis 8 males and females, Genesis 3 males and females, and both the Genesis 8 and 3 females have these add-on packs here, which come with other dials that you can use for that. So the beauty of using this is that when you want the figure to bend forward, it doesn't just do that in one joint, it uses multiple joints to correct the motion, and that really is just very valuable. Let me show you how it works and where to find these things. So I've got my Genesis 3 dev rig in here, and there's really nothing in the smart content or in the regular content library that you find, except for one thing we're going to look at later. So under utilities, on the smart content tab, under utilities, you have the Pose Architect thing that is a very clever script that we'll talk about at the end. You find the same script on the content library tab under scripts, I believe, is it? Scripts, 3D Universe, Pose Architect. There we go. That's the same script in the regular content library. So we'll talk about that later. For now, when you select your figure, head over to the Parameters tab and then head over to the Pose Controls, because that's where these things are hiding. And under Pose Controls, you have this new kind of, top level menu here, which is called 3DU Pose Architect, and that's where all these things live. A variety of sliders. I haven't counted them, but there's a lot of them, and they're also color coded, which is kind of nice. So it does show you where what is. You can open this up and then you get individual groups for arms and hands and head, hip, legs and torso. So these are split up. That's kind of cool. Maybe we'll start with the torso and I'll show you what this thing can do. So there's this one here, torso bend left right. If I go and slide that, so it's kind of 0% in the middle and I can slide it to the left and right, then this is what the figure does. And you can use these in conjunction. So it's not just, dial one up and that's a pose. You're meant to use these in conjunction with one another and then create your own poses with that. So you can do, these two together and maybe even do a little corrective motion on the arm here, or make sure they just don't intersect or whatnot. But so what you can see is that this isn't just one thing that happens with the figure. If I just go to this one here as an example, you can see that the multiple joints on the figure move, and that's kind of clever. So people who are into animation and people who can draw, sadly I'm not one of them, they will know that maintaining the balance of the figure is something very important to make a pose look natural. So many poses struggle from that. This is a good example here. Many poses struggle from looking really good because while you can bend one or two joints, you probably forget the other joints that a natural movement would have. So this is a great example of what this can do here. If you're interested in how this works under the hood, it's, I believe the technical term is morph controlled morphs, or rather enhanced remote control. I think that is what's used. So if you look into any of these sliders here, into the parameter settings, you can see that although I'm controlling one slider, this slider is controlling other values that are hidden inside the figure. And that's what drives multiple values. So this is sometimes necessary if you have one slider that closes the eyes, but in order to have the eyes completely closed, you have to adjust other morphs on the figure And these ERC deltas, they can make that happen under the hood. Steve from 3D Universe is a master at setting these things up, so very cool. Let's have a look at the hip here, hip bend forward. So you can see that a lot of stuff is happening. While she's doing that, she's trying to make sure she doesn't fall over. So if you look from an angle, the figure is trying to balance herself out by putting the feet slightly further apart. Hip crouch. There we go. That is also possible. So a lot of things happening under the hood there. Hip forward back. So this is another great example. So you can animate these things as well. I really appreciate that. That's very, very nicely done. So you can do that, and a lot of stuff is happening. So one of the things that if you were to set this up manually is that you might do something with the hip. You might put the hip forward, you might put the legs slightly backwards, but you might forget to put the arms properly to the back. And this I don't know how he does it, if this is all down to hard work and labor and a lot of looking at reference pictures. I really don't know how he does it, but yeah, this is nice. I can really see this being a nice tool to create your own natural looking poses. And as I said, they're not meant to be used just by themselves. You can just mix them up. So legs, what we got here? Leg, there we go. This is another great example. Leg lift back, this one is called, and you can see how the figure is, while moving weight away from one leg, shifting her weight with the whole body over to the other leg. So that's very, very cool the way this looks. There's a ton of these sliders in here, and it goes the other side as well, doesn't it? Yeah, this is the one. Lift leg back, right, there we go. So a ton of things that you can use in multiplication. If you have a look at Steve's other products, you'll see that he's using this in his own promo images to make very, very sexy looking poses. I gotta say, absolutely appreciate the hard work that's gone into making this product. So it is expensive for what it is. For a Pro's product for like $27, that is a lot of money, especially if you're investing this into multiple figures potentially. But I gotta tell you, there's a lot that you can do with this. Lunge is another good one. Woohoo! My goodness, look at that bend. Unbelievable. And you can have that to either side. So yes, a ton of these things, and you know, not all of them at 100% in isolation look great, but imagine the possibility that you get with all these things combined. Let me show you if I find an example of what I mean. Yeah, here's one in the Raven character. This is a custom character from 3D Universe, and in one of the promo images, namely this one here, that's a pose that I believe is made with the, and don't quote me on this, there might be other adjustments going on, but this is something that you can do with the pose architect. I really like the fact that she's balancing herself out while grabbing her foot here. I had kind of hoped that this pose is as a preset included in this. Here's another one. Like, this is a promo image from the Scene Tools 3 pose symmetry. This is another one that looks like some of the pose architect was used to make that pose, and I think it looks great. I think it's just a great way of bringing poses to the table. And so another thing that I find exciting about this is what do we do with it afterwards? I mean, once you've got your pose set up here, I mean, there's so many that I could show you here. Just a quick couple of others before I wrap this up. There's some that I like. One is about the head, and not only can you do the head left right thing, which is also not just one joint, so there's multiple joints that are being used here. One that I like is the neck roll. This is a cool one. If you do that, you keep sliding the slider, and the head first goes down, and then it goes all the way around in a circle until it comes to the end again. So, you know, it's kind of a warm-up exercise if you were to animate this, which is seriously cool. And again, this is where you see that these multiple morphs that are coming in here, from 0 to 25%, this happens, and then from 25% onwards, this happens. That's kind of, I like this. I like this. For animations, this could really come in handy. There's another one he has on the hands. That's a very similar one. Let me go and zoom into the hand here. That is the finger roll. It works by the same principle. Finger roll, is this the one? It's of course the other hand. This one, a finger roll on the right. So you can do this. It's just as if somebody's tapping their fingers nervously. It's just nice to have these little tools at hand with a single slider. Very cute stuff that's going on here. And there's also arms, so let's go and have a look at the full figure arms. That's another one. over the head. This is kind of difficult to do because, again, it's not just one or two joints that you adjust for that, it's multiple. And if you can, this is just, so I see this as a time saver. That is seriously cool. If I wanted to have my figure raise an arm, then it's much easier for me to just dial a slider in than to go through my 4,000 poses and try to figure out which one of those I then need to go and use with what other upper body, lower body pose, whatnot. So that's kind of the downside. Like, I have so many poses, and you know, if you buy a pack of 50 poses, 2 of them might be what you need regularly, and the other ones, they make sense in situ in a scene. But to pose somebody in a scene while you're working with the figure, that's sometimes really difficult to make these things happen. And if you have a few sliders like that, I'm kind of looking forward to the add-on pack there already. There's another $28. Steve, what are you doing to me? It's crazy. There we go. That's that. So there's one final thing I wanted to show you. If I go, and maybe I'll go back to the arms here. I'll go raise this arm up and maybe do something with with that arm. I'll just, you know, imagine this is my dream pose here. How do I save it? So now that I've done slider adjustments here, technically, if I were to save it now as a pose preset, it wouldn't be a real pose preset. So I couldn't really share it with anyone in this current shape or form, because all that DAZ Studio would do is it would save the position of my slider adjustments here in the parameters tab. And as such, I wouldn't be able to give you this particular pose if I'm a pose creator, if I want to utilize that on a different system or whatever. So, and this is kind of where it gets really cool, Steve's included a script that will make that happen. So just remember that on the arms, I had 2 adjustments here in various settings here. And if I go over to the pose architect script, namely this one here, it says extract pose from Genesis 3 female. So if I do that and double click it, it will, you know, think about it for a second, and it'll go and render out all the adjustments that each single joint would have had to make in order to stand like that. So the pose is still exactly the same, but these things have now been extracted. It says in 95 values have been extracted from the following 3 control dials, which gives you a bit of an idea of how much work is going on under the hood. So I greatly appreciate that. So once this has happened, the pose itself is not saved, but it is now locked in as something that no longer requires me to fiddle with the dial. So now it's as if I had spent 2 hours slaving over making sure every control or every joint has been moved into position. And now I can go ahead and go to my file, save as pose preset, give it my name, like, I don't know, test, whatever, or dream pose, and then I can go and save the current frame as this pose, and that is something I can now go and share with people, even distribute if I wanted it. I'm not entirely sure. I don't think there's a merchant resource license. Probably doesn't apply to poses, but I'm no expert on that. So very cool. I'm extremely impressed. Pose Architect is what it's called. I've got the one for the Genesis 3 females. I thought as a test, this would be an awesome one to try, because if I do like it, I could now go and save my poses out, even apply them to Genesis 8 with Agent Unaware's amazing pose converter, so they will work once I save them out as a pose preset that I've just done. But having these dials in your figures available is just such a cool idea to have. So I'm going to put those on my wish list, and as soon as I see another sale and as soon as I get more money together, I will totally go and invest into the others, including the male figures, because this is just too cool. Anyway, I hope this helped. If you have any questions about this product, if you want to buy it yourself, there's a link in the description. There's also an affiliate link to the DAZ store in the description as well. I can't link directly to products with the affiliate link, but if you go shopping via that link and search for the product yourself or buy anything else from the DAZ store, I do get a little cut, which is awesome and helps me out to, you know, financially run this thing. Same goes for Amazon. If you're shopping on Amazon, you can go shopping via my Amazon affiliate links and give me a cut of the purchase at no extra cost to you. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope I will see you next time. Take care. Bye-bye.